this is a culture.
Right.
This is a culture.
I agree.
And the thing is, but now, how do we solve it is the question. Now, I have a few ideas. And the thing is, but now, how do we solve it is the question. Now, I have a few ideas.
Okay, but before you go there, let me go over to the other side now, the rioters. Sure. Let's talk about the rioters. By the same token, the 25% are doing the damage, and the other 75% are getting the blame for it.
Right.
So it works on both sides.
I agree. So what should that 75% of the cops have done?
They should have reported.
And so my view is, if you hold a protest, a peaceful protest, and you are doing the rules, Elijah Cummings would agree, at 8 o'clock we all go home, then 8 o'clock we all go home. If you're still standing out there, or if you're tossing Molotov cocktails or whatever, then you're not a part of my house. So exactly. maybe what should happen is that the police need to be held more accountable and responsible. But I'm not asking the community to wait for that. But right. If I'm going out there with the community and with the leaders should explicitly state, we are out here for this reason, for this purpose. Anyone who does anything opposite, destroy property, attack, anything other than raise your voice, I can't breathe, I need help. Anybody that does anything other than that, I think that right now, the people that are protesting need to start saying, stop, you're not with us. You're not a part of our house. You want to burn our house down. We don't want to burn the house down. And 8 o'clock when we go, we'll let the officers know they're not a part of our house. So there's got to be some accountability with inside the group that's protesting.
What about holding them for law enforcement?
No, because I would not want, that's like you with your hen house. That's like you asking the hen house, well, this has been a bad rooster, you're going to hand it over to the fox? I don't think so. I don't think so, brother. No, because the law enforcement has not earned the trust for us to be giving over any citizen, because even if they're innocent, they're mistreated, as we saw. I say we need to start policing our own house. If we show up and there's one white individual and we don't know him, but all of a sudden he feels he's entitled that he needs to smash a window with his skateboard, which I saw last night, and I'm going, well, where did he come from? And why is he so impassioned about my cause? It makes me wonder, is this guy really trying to inflame things? They need to start questioning who's there. If I've got some guy with a brown bottle of liquor and he's got a spray can, he's already showing me, and he's with my house, he's showing me there's a problem. We have to start policing ourselves.
Here's the thing, and we need to realize this too. According to the Minnesota governor, he said that 80% of those that were arrested were from out of state. Is this, in your opinion, outsiders that want to cause problems in another town, or is this white supremacists that are trying to start a race war? What have we got here? Or is it both?
Good question. They're white supremacists and they're black supremacists. If there's white supremacists, we got black supremacists. There are some African Americans who want to stir up the pot. They want to make sure that there's an issue. I mean, people are no different. If there's a bad white guy, there's a bad black guy. So here's the thing. There needs to be more structured organization of your protest. And there needs to be people within that household of yours that are protesting that say, what is your business here? Why we don't allow that? And 10 of them need to turn to that one and say, this is not allowed. You need to leave. And if we have to make citizens arrest, we will make a citizen's arrest. Now, what happens after that is up to you, but we are not going to allow you to burn down our house. We're going to burn down CNN. Well, you know what? They burned down CNN. How many, let me ask you this, Mark, because you're good with numbers. How many people of color does CNN hire?
Oh, geez. I'm betting.
We don't even need to go there, Mark. I know one. The one that was arrested in Minnesota for trying to report what was going on there.
Right.
He had a job. He was trying to do his job. And what do? We're trying to burn his house down where he has a job. When he was trying to bring to the world what was happening in injustice, and then the people in Atlanta disgrace the name of Martin Luther King, the whole city burnt down once in the Civil War. We don't need to do it again. It's ridiculous. We don't need to do it again. This is our home. But we need to say, if you're not with us, you need to step aside. And the people that are there that allow these people to burn cars within the group, if you don't want injustice from the police officers and from law enforcement, don't allow injustice within your own group.
And here it is. On both sides, we need accountability.
Yes.
And, you know, how many times have we seen looters and rioters get away with stuff? So I believe both the law enforcement officers that are bad and the rioters and looters need to be held accountable. Now, the one thing I do want to say is I am a veteran. You're a veteran. We served together. We've known each other forever. But anyway, you and I would both fight again to defend their right.
There you go.
For protest. Now, peaceful protest, not tearing up a city.
Yeah, but you and I would do one other thing too. If I go down there and Mayor Bottoms doesn't know me, City of Atlanta don't know me, you know me, the school knows me, and people who serve with me, let me tell you, if I go down there and you step in the front of Starbucks and I'm there, I'm going to grab a couple of the other guys. Are you for this? No. Don't do it. Take the pictures of anyone who's throwing things. Take pictures of anyone who's destroying things. And we're standing, all 8 of us, all 10 of us are saying, you're not going to do it. We're telling you as citizens, you're not going to do it. Remember peacekeepers? Years ago, they had the peacekeepers.
Yep.
Maybe that's what we need to bring back, a group called the Watchers. And we need to establish this group called the Watchers. And the Watchers have one purpose. We are there to ensure that the property of the innocent are not destroyed, that individuals who want to break the law and discredit a peaceful protest are identified and subdued, not by the cops, because can't trust them, but we will not allow this on our watch. When the house is ready to close and everyone's go to bed, like Elijah Cummings says, well, our march is through. We made it work. We're going to go back at 9 o'clock. That's it. Everybody goes back at 9. Now, what do you think about that? Now, that takes a lot of guts, but that's what's needed within these groups.
Okay. Now, as is common when you and I get together, we feed off of each other.
All right.
Your idea of policing the house just gave me another idea. What about if organizers put people front, middle, and back of the protest march to take
those are the Watchers. Those are the Watchers.
Take nothing but pictures.
You've got to organize, you've got to think it out, you've got to plan it, and you've got to tell everyone who's showing up, this is what we're here for. If you identify, see, or anyone who is doing anything other than saying, please listen to our voice, please listen to what we're saying, then you're not a part of our family or our group. But there has to be consequences for their actions.
Well,
And that's a touchy situation, but it's got to be worked out. But you cannot allow the degradation and the deterioration of a good movement by individuals who are there to discredit you, either because of ignorance, because of ideology, or because of some other nefarious plan.
right. But what I'm saying is, when they take those pictures, when they take those videos, as an organization, the organization of the march, if someone is causing trouble, I believe they should turn those over to the police.
I believe they should share it with social media, so we got that in the future, so those individuals can be identified in the future going forward. If they show up my rally in Atlanta, but I also see them in Kansas City, I've got them in a database, so I already know this is a troublemaker. And then I'll tell that, there you go. You see, social media.
You and I feed off of
We're emergency managers, guy. That's what we do. We mitigate. So if we've got the pictures of these individuals, mask on or not, or even pictures of their vehicles that they pulled up in, or wherever they may be, eventually when the police do come around to their senses and they do realize that they have a systemic problem, that maybe they're embedded with some people who are black supremacists or white supremacists, or that the system is just developed in such a way that it works against those people or persons that are underserved, then you can hand that information over to them from your database saying, yes,
absolutely,
we saw this person in Atlanta, we saw this person in New York, same individual, same mask, same coloring, boom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's perfect, but that takes structure and it takes planning, but it takes also individuals committing to it.
Right. And here's the thing. When you don't plan, let me rephrase this. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Benjamin Franklin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin.
And what's happening with these protests is they're coming off the cuff.
Right.
And they aren't planning for deviants to be
injected. Well, now, as a former Air Force intelligence puke, I will say this. Maybe what's happening with social media is that there's this blast of, we're going to have a meeting, and maybe that's being done by individuals that are nefarious. If there isn't, I couldn't tell who clearly was in charge of the gathering yesterday in Atlanta. Yeah. If there's no one that's clearly in charge that's from the community, then I'm already questioning how this and why this is happening. So I'd like to have my bullhorn and say, who is in charge? Who is leading this from our community that have skin in the game? If you haven't got skin in the game, then how did you know we were to meet today?
Yeah.
So maybe maybe it's the Russians. I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's Bubba with the militia up in Michigan somewhere. I don't know. Or maybe it's just Black Lives Matter and they're just a little upset, and maybe it's one of the rogue in that group. I don't know. But somebody needs to be leading the protest and speaking for the family, the house. And if that's not happening, you should already be a little bit skeptical about why we're all here in the square and there's no leadership leading it. There's a problem.
Right.
There's a problem.
And I agree with you. I think that what we've got is we've become so polarized on whatever issue that we can't sit down and talk it out. Nobody wants to listen to anyone anymore. No one wants to discuss anymore. They just want to slam.
Yeah, but Mark, that's kind of hard to do. If you're an African American man right now in this country, last thing, and I'm hearing this from a lot of young African American males in their teens and 20s,